Resourceful.
Essential.
Love.
Community.
Family.
Life-saving.
Future.
Empowering.
Bold.
Ethical.
Seguridad.
Commitment.
Warmth. Caring.
Teamwork.
Foundation.
Good.
Thankful.
Compassionate.
Scrappy.
Hope.
HRDC is the social net that we have in our community that helps when people find themselves suddenly, oftentimes, without housing, without food, without a job, from a whole variety of reasons.
We're a family of services to meet the needs in transportation and housing and food and nutrition, senior services, early childhood education, financial development, and community development. And we do that by specific programming that we ask our community where are the needs, and that's where we put the programming. And in a nutshell, that's HRDC.
Sometimes it takes just one helping hand. Sometimes it takes a month or two. It might take more than that. But in the end, HRDC is the one that provides that social service net that we need in this community.
It's not just that housing is expensive, it's that it's not even available. So, we have people who have been here for a really long time and they're just seeing these costs escalating, and they're looking at the wages that they're paid, and they know that that's not enough. They can't make ends meet. And so we're seeing people who are suffering from food insecurity, housing instability, but also untreated mental health disorders, untreated addiction issues, and all of these problems just sort of compound.
40% of our community, or the U.S. population, can't afford an unexpected $400 bill. We all have $400 bills that are unexpected periodically. But for some people, it means stumbling in a way that they now have housing insecurity or food insecurity. And HRDC is there to help get them back up on their feet and back up into independent living as quickly as possible.
I love that our food bank and our HRDC programs are places that people can just walk through the door, and it's a zero barrier service where they can come and just start someplace to get help. And they come through the door and they get food, and then we can start talking about all sorts of things like, do you need energy assistance? Do you need help with housing? Do you need help with childcare? And really build a safety net.
Everyone needs a place where they can be safe, a place where they can be themselves, a place that gives them dignity, a place that allows them to become the person that they were meant to be, a place where they can have health and not be assailed or assaulted or condemned or criticized, a place where they can grow.
HRDC has outgrown the food bank. Our community's needs are much greater than the facilities we have. The new facilities and the new plans are essential to our continuing to be able to meet the needs of our community. Please join us in helping to make the right-sized facility for tomorrow and our future here in Bozeman.
The time is now. The needs are real. They need help. And it's not people who are just experiencing homelessness. It's people who need help in all sorts of different ways, from the food bank to the shelter to the fork and spoon. There's a space for everybody. This is going to serve all of Bozeman, and that's who we're building it for.
I urge you with all my heart to give, and to give generously, to a group that is completely ethical about the donations that they get and what they do with your money.
I'm really proud of the work that we do at HRDC, and I can guarantee to any donor that we do our absolute best to make dollars stretch. And we do that through our volunteers, we do that through accepting food donations, we do that through our many, many partnerships. I just can't think of a better investment to take care of our community.
Hey, good evening, friends, and thank you for being a part of a truly historic day for HRDC. This is Annie.
This is Molly.
And we're from Bozeman's Last Best Comedy. And we are so honored to serve as your hosts for this incredible celebration. Tonight, we're coming to you live from HRDC's main office. And over the next 30 minutes, we will be sharing some exciting announcements. We have many of you joining us from your homes or from watch parties being held across the country. We want to thank each and every one of you for turning in and supporting HRDC.
HRDC has been a part of our community for over 47 years. 47 years. And over that time, they've impacted the lives of countless people and families. Every one of you tonight likely has an HRD story. HRDC story.
It's an HRDC
Not the HRD
It's not the
story.
HR story.
Maybe you are a dedicated volunteer, a faithful donor, or maybe you walked through the doors of HRDC because you needed some help. We are grateful that we live in a community that has an organization like this, and we know that you feel the same. It is the impact HRDC has on our community that brings us together this evening.
You know, everybody has an experience. You guys all have experiences, and so
do we.
So do we. Through our business, Last Best Comedy, I have been a Bozeman resident for 20 years, and I have seen the growing community and the growing challenges that we see. And with that, we see all members of the community coming into our space.
And after the pandemic, we opened right after
right after
up from the pandemic.
Right after.
And
We weren't doing anything illegal.
we were getting lots of people downstairs in our club from all walks of life here in Bozeman. And one of those people, actually a couple, but one of them that became a friend of ours, happened to be experiencing homelessness. And he became a regular fixture coming down into the club, seeing the shows, laughing, just being a part of the community, being friends with the people there. And we were like, you don't have to come down here every night. Like, we'll give you shows for free. And he was like, no, I've set aside $10 a week so that I'm able to come to your shows and support you guys because I love this place. And that of course made me.
Annie cried.
I cried because that was super moving.
It's very
And we were like, no, keep your money. And in fact, Thanksgiving was coming up and we wanted to do a fundraiser for something in the community.
Some nonprofit. And we reached out to this gentleman and asked him who had helped him the most. So who made an impact on his life. And he mentioned HRDC.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had him host an event. He told some stories from his life. We raised a little bit of money for HRDC. And now we have been invited to host this lovely event.
So if you're wondering why we're standing,
why is it us?
That is why.
And why we're not doing our type 5?
It's because we are hosting this event for the HRDC, which now has become a part of our lives as well. So enough of that. You think of your own stories. Let's get the celebration started right now.
First, we will hear from HRDC Associate Director Tracy Menue about an exciting new campus that is already underway for our community.
I'm Tracy Menue. I'm the Community Development Director for HRDC. Today is a really exciting and historic day for our organization as we put the shovels into the ground for our new facilities off of Griffin Drive. Our new facility will have 2 buildings. The first building is a food and resource center that will house all of our food and nutrition programming, including our Gallatin Valley Food Bank and Fork and Spoon Homestyle Kitchen. That building will also include all of our customer-facing programming, including energy, senior programming, youth development, our financial opportunity center. And really the goal is that a customer doesn't need to travel to numerous locations that maybe aren't served by public transportation in order to access services. At this new facility, you'll be able to walk in, you'll be able to meet with a service navigator, pick up an energy assistance application, assess everything that's going on in your life, and figure out what services you need to help become self-sufficient and thriving. In the second building, we'll be providing Bozeman's first year-round emergency shelter. For a community of our size, we're the largest community in Montana that doesn't have an emergency shelter, a safe place for people to stay 365 days a year. For us to be able to offer this to our community that is growing, has a deepening housing crisis, this is the right step for our community. The shelter itself will meet all of the needs of the people in our community experiencing homelessness, including some enhanced family suites, which will provide families experiencing homelessness with a place that they can access throughout the day to work around nap schedules, school schedules, homework, and help make homelessness less traumatic for children experiencing homelessness. More important, I think, than the beds in the shelter. And while it's really important that everyone has a safe, warm, dry place to sleep, I think even more importantly is the resource hub that is on the first floor. And the resource hub is all about throwing everything we have at a customer who walks in the door to help make sure that their homelessness is as brief as possible, that we get them into permanent housing as quickly as we can. And that means everything HRDC has to offer, but also bringing in our community partners. We're so thankful for all of our supporters, everyone who has come with us on this journey. This project has been a long time in the making and has gone through a pandemic and increasing costs, and yet you've stuck with us and we've stuck with it because we know that it will save lives and it will change lives. And we thank you so much for your support previously and in the future as we make this dream come true.
They truly are a resourceful group. And what a wonderful opportunity to have a single, all-encompassing location for their customers to utilize. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tracy.
It's pretty awesome. We recently joined HRDC for a tour of their Gallatin Valley Food Bank and their now year-round warming center. We saw firsthand the important work that is done at those facilities. We also saw how challenging it must be to just get through the day in space that lacks so many things.
It was really moving and unexpected to go through this tour, to see the food bank and to see the warming center, to stand in the warming center, to stand in the food bank, seeing the patrons come in to those spaces and recognizing that they're just like you and me. They're just people who have fallen on hard times. But then also the volunteers and staff that work there, they're just kind of bursting at the seams. Right?
Yeah.
From the amount of beds that they have and the people that need the shelter to the food and the supplies that people are coming in for. One of the things. Sorry, I'm talking.
No, it's okay. You're saying great stuff.
I am saying really good stuff.
Congratulations.
One of the things was that they don't have any intake rooms for the people when they're coming in. Coming into the food bank, they're in such that emotional place. I am blessed and privileged that I haven't ever had to experience that, but putting myself in that position that if I was that vulnerable and that emotional to walk into a space like that, I'd want to have space to say what I needed to say and feel those emotions without having to be around a lot of people to have some privacy. And that was one of the main things I noticed about the food bank was they need space. Yeah, move it out.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, you need to stretch those limbs a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the most impactful thing for me was to hear the people who worked there, the volunteers, talk about these experiences that they have. I think my biggest fear in going into anything like this is how it would impact me emotionally or how hard it would be to watch this. But they really came out with stories of hope and how they felt so moved by how they can truly make an impact in the life. And we were very inspired.
Yeah, we talked all the way home about it, like what we're going to do now.
Yes.
Because currently we're not doing enough with our lives. Anyways, we are excited to get a chance to catch up with HRDC CEO, Heather Grenier. Heather, come in.
Hey,
how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
How has this whole day been?
It's been fantastic. It's been remarkable. Very exciting.
We've come up with some questions for Heather. Molly and I put our heads together. We wrote them down on cards. Because sometimes we put big words in them. So here I go. Why is now the time for this project, especially when the housing crisis seems so prevalent?
That's a great question. And they are equally as critical. Housing is super critical, and our work is not going to stop on that front. However, people were hurting before the pandemic. People are hurting now. People are really hurting when we look at the high cost of living, the increases in rent, inflation, gas prices. The best way we can help people today is by having a facility where we can wrap all of those services around folks as quickly as possible and get them connected to the services they need. All of that combined can really help offset their monthly expenses, help them afford that increase in rent that they're seeing by taking a week's worth of groceries, by helping with their utility bill. And so it has to happen now. We've got to be there to support our community through this.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
I'm convinced. You started this project, though, in the middle of a global pandemic, escalating building costs. We all know how that has gotten in motion in very uncertain times. So, how is it all going for you? Having picked the worst time possible.
Yes, exactly. We have been blessed as an organization to have such remarkable people. Since the onset of the pandemic, we upended how within 48 hours, how we were doing everything from how we were distributing our food boxes to how we were providing shelter. We bought a hotel to make sure everyone could shelter in place.
We saw this. They bought a hotel to house people during the pandemic.
Our job is to respond to the community's needs, and our staff pivoted and made that possible. But certainly costs are escalating, supply chain issues are happening, labor is hard to find.
Yeah.
All of those things are contributing to increased costs. And so waiting doesn't help any of that. Every indicator is telling us now it's not going to get better anytime soon. And as I said, the need is really critical today.
Somebody in the opening video called you scrappy, your organization scrappy, and I can see why. That answer is a scrappy answer.
Scrappy.
Now, HRDC does not just serve Bozeman, but also it serves a greater community. So how will that greater community outside of the city of Bozeman be impacted by this local place?
Well, significantly. That's a great question. So for shelter specifically right now, we have, even in our existing facility, people sleeping there that work in West Yellowstone and Big Sky and Livingston and Belgrade from the whole region. And so we really are serving a regional need. It just doesn't make sense, and we can't afford to have facilities in each of those communities at this point. And our food bank has always been a regional hub. We provide food to all the outlying nonprofits in the area as well as the regional area food banks and food pantries. And so this really will elevate our ability to help provide that service regionally, because we'll have space and warehouse and food storage, and we can take on those giant orders and then distribute them across the region and spread that out.
Get those forklifts in there.
Exactly.
That was one of the things.
Yes.
Getting a forklift in there would be very handy.
Very handy.
That's super cool. But today you broke ground on the first building, right? That's going to be the future home of the food bank and of the Pay What You Can restaurant, Fork and Spoon. So what else is going to be in this building? What else will you be able to offer to your customers?
Everything that we have is customer facing to offer. So everything from our utility assistance to rental assistance, also provide space for our educational component. So home buyer education, cooking classes. We'd love to have space for cooking classes. I'm sure you heard Jill talk about
nutrition classes,
a whole classroom. To be able to do that, as well as our financial opportunity center, service navigation, just really being able to wrap everything around everyone that walks in the door.
And to speak to what Annie was kind of talking about earlier, there's going to be like more private areas.
3 private intake areas.
Yes.
Exactly.
And everybody, your whole staff seem very excited about those private intake areas.
Yeah.
The second building is a year-round shelter and resource hub for the essential community partners. When will the second building get started?
Yeah, as soon as possible, and as soon as we have the funding to do so. We've been working on putting the financing package together for this development for a long time.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people who have been committed to our food bank work for a really long time. And that's why we get that off the ground right away. We've got a ways to go to get everybody on board to help support the shelter. But as you heard Tracy say, we're the only community in the state with this number of people that doesn't have a year-round emergency shelter. And it's past time. And we're all seeing what the impacts of COVID have had on the increase in people without housing or with very limited housing.
Yeah. Very important work you guys are doing.
Can I ask you an off-the-cuff question?
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to ask an off-the-cuff question because we're improvisers. A game that we often play as improvisers is a game called 5 Things. And since we live in kind of a TikTok culture, people like sharp, quick bites. Can you give us very quickly, off the top of your head, the 5 things a year from you now, or when the building, 18 months, when the building is done and you're in there and you're rolling around, it's all working how it should be. What are the 5 things that you'll be most happy about, or 5 things that you'll say?
Okay. Let's see. Easier access, 100% for our customers to get everything that they need in one spot on their lunch hour. One. Oh, geez. Increase in production. We can pump out thousands of meals in that production kitchen. Two. Okay. As Jill says, our customer service is great, but our facilities are not. And so our facilities will equal our customer service. Yes. Three. Oh, goodness. Easier for all of our team members to do their jobs and feel good about how we're providing that service. Four. And then, the added benefit of these facilities is really our community's ability to respond to disasters.
Five. Those are five things.
You did exciting.
You did a great improv.
I feel good.
Yeah, I feel great. Feel relaxed.
That's great. You should feel good. That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
Let's now share with our viewers some highlights from this morning's groundbreaking.
The land that we gather on today is both for community and truly it's of our community. Margaret Wheatley said, "There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it really cares about." And we appreciate you participating in this discovery with us. Thank you.
Really, I want to just take a moment and remark on the significance of today. This really marks our commitment as an organization to meet the needs of our community for the next 30 years. That's what we're embarking on. That's why we're here. That's why we put all of this time and energy into this, is to make sure that nobody in our community goes to bed hungry and that everyone has a warm, safe place to sleep. So it's a moment for us to say, this is our investment, this is our commitment, and we couldn't be here without each and every one of you.
I was talking to Penelope earlier, and I say this a lot, that we're the best kept secret in this community. And I hope today is the chapter that we turn where we're not seen as the best kept secret. The amount of work that we do with our partners here, we're part of the social and economic fabric in this community, and it's amazing to see this next chapter come to light. So very excited to be a part of that.
Thanks, guys, for being up here with me. I want to mention that you have a vial of dirt at the table with you from this ground as well. And we're asking you to hang on to that, because when we get the new facility built and we plant our garden, we want you to bring that back and put that into our garden so you can be part of helping us grow into the future. So just wanted to make that note before we dig our first shovel of dirt, that you are part of it at the table as well. Also, after this and after Brian's lovely toast, we will have opportunities for folks to come up here and do your own shovel and do your own pictures. So, okay, with that, are we ready?
To hope, to dignity, to persevering in the face of adversity, to all of our neighbors. May this new space and the work we do here make you as proud as you make us. This is for you. Cheers.
Thank you again, Heather. So many exciting and impactful things are happening here at HRDC. But can we talk about the supporters?
I want to talk about the supporters. Yes. Let's talk all night. There are so many unbelievable advocates for this organization and the campaign itself. If it is because of all of them and all of you watching from home that HRDC has been able to provide support and services for so many people across Southwest Montana. We now have a short message to share with you from some of our very dedicated friends.
Go, friends.
As I sit in my comfortable home on stormy nights, I take solace in knowing that HRDC is out doing work, making sure that those out in the streets, in the cold, are getting service, be it warmth or food or housing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the wonderful work you do.
We have lived in Bozeman for 48 years, and this community means a lot to us. We have volunteered at the food bank for over 15 years now, and it's a good way to stay connected to this community that does mean so much to us. I think volunteering strengthens the community and the relationships that we have with the people that we've met at the food bank, the staff, the volunteers, the clients are really meaningful to us.
Many of them are now some of our very best friends.
To me, it just fulfills the basic needs that people have. I mean, there are other nonprofits that we donate to, but something about food and shelter, it seems like, that's where it all starts. Helping right down at the, at the level where people get started and pull themselves up and get themselves back involved with the community.
It's been especially inspiring for me to be involved on HRDC steering committee, which is raising money for HRDC's new home. I've met with many friends and business associates who have donated tens of thousands of dollars to make HRDC's new home a reality.
Hi, I'm Robin Bickay. 25 years ago, my husband, my daughters, and I moved to Bozeman. Soon thereafter, we started writing checks to HRDC Food Bank because I always found it compelling. Nobody should go hungry, not while I can do something about it. Some years thereafter, I'd read in the paper that a man froze to death in his car. Soon thereafter, our first warming center was started in Bozeman. And I found that equally compelling because no one should freeze to death either. After starting our business, Bickay Confections, we found there were times when we had caramel we could send over to the food bank. And then as the business grew, so did our ability to write bigger checks. Over the years, I've gotten more and more involved with HRDC, and I find the organization remarkable. First, the leadership is outstanding. They're forward-looking, they're caring, they're compassionate, and they make good investments with the money that we send. The number of programs HRDC has and the breadth and scope of their programs never ceases to amaze me. They're thoughtful, they're smart, and they respond to the needs of the community. I'm grateful that I'm on the giving end of the equation and not on the receiving end of what HRDC provides to our community. 2 summers ago, I asked my 5-year-old grandson how it felt when he was playing with his friends. And he said, really good. Then I asked him, how did it feel when he was eating something super yummy? We're foodies, it always goes back to food. And he said, really good. And then I asked him, how does it feel when you help someone else? His smile broadened, his eyes twinkled, and he said, really, really, really good. I thought, what a smart kid. I was a lot older than that when I found out how good it feels to help others. Please join us in helping to keep our community strong. Help us with your time volunteering or donations. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to Steve and Jean Schnee, Robin Bickay, and Diana Blank for being a part of HRDC's future. Now joining us is Kristen Hamburg, HRDC's Development Director.
Thank you guys for being here.
Oh my gosh, we're so honored. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Are we having fun?
Yeah, we're having
For
fun.
sure.
We're having fun too because donations are already rolling in.
Ooh, nice. Do you have any other announcements?
I actually do. So, in the past about 2.5 years, HRDC and a group of amazing volunteers have been working together quietly behind the scenes, raising dollars and telling the HRDC story. Along the way, we've had a lot of unexpected events. So we had our first 5 meetings in person, and since then we've been meeting monthly virtually. But we came together, and we knew that philanthropy was going to play a significant role in our ability to make this future happen for HRDC. So we set a goal of raising $15 million, and we decided that when we got over 10 or at 10, we felt comfortable going to the public and sharing our story. Do you want to know how much we've raised so far?
I'm assuming over 10. I would hope over 10.
It's so big, I had to put it on.
Okay, what is it? Yeah.
So as of today, we have raised $10,768,931.
Oh my so amazing. That is amazing.
It is very amazing.
Congratulations. I am overwhelmed that no, it's just that's an overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. I'm going to overwhelm you a little bit more.
More news.
I have another exciting announcement. So we broke ground today.
Yes.
Which was very exciting. And one of our greatest champions is the Candida Fund with Diana Blank and the wonderful Tim Stevens. And Tim had an opportunity to share a little bit at our groundbreaking this morning. And he announced that tonight or today, every dollar raised until we reach $1 million will be 100% matched by the Candida Fund.
Whoa.
So every dollar we make tonight, match.
Okay, so so if I don't buy a cup of coffee and I take that $4 and I give it to you, how
really $8?
It's really 2 cups of coffee.
I'm so
it's
good at math.
You're so good at math. I'm sorry, I did break it down. So it's a match. It's a match. Yes.
Yes.
You can do it. That is pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
$1 million match. That's what an incredible way to support HRDC and the communities and customers it serves. You guys, we really do have so many incredibly things happening here tonight. That's so cool. Please help us meet that match by donating now. You can scan the QR code on your screen. You can visit the HRDC website, or you can call the number on the screen to give. Now let's take a few minutes to talk about why we are all tuning in and showing up for HRDC. With us next are 2 people whose work will be significantly impacted by this project. Jill Holder, Director of Food and Nutrition, and Brian Geyer, Director of Housing.
This is a tumultuous time in our world, and I think an important piece of this facility and the work that HRDC is doing is that when you look back and you tell your family and your grandchildren and your kids about how you responded to all of these bad things that were happening in the world during the pandemic, with the wars and all of the conflict. I think when you look back and you talk about how you responded, you will be able to say, I helped take care of my community. And, that's a legacy. That's building a legacy. And I think that you're going to be proud. It's emblematic of how Bozeman treats one another. We have a culture of taking care of our neighbors. Montana is a place where we know the winters are hard, but we also know that if our neighbors need our help, we're going to give them that help, because that's part of being a Montanan. And this facility reflects that value.
I'm really proud of staff and our volunteers. We give a really professional, kind service, but our facilities are so lagging behind. And so, for an example, a lot of times when people come to the food bank for the very first time, they never ever dream of the food bank. And so it's an emotional experience. And for them to come into our lobby, which is cramped, and sit at our intake desk, which is not private, and share their feelings, whether they mean to or not, is just a disservice to our customers. And I just know that we can do so much better. And so it's really exciting to think about a new facility that empowers the customer's experience and helps support them on their way to doing better and being, thriving, really.
Oh my goodness.
They're pretty awesome.
They are awesome. We got to meet them in person on our tour.
You guys were so lucky.
You don't need us hosting it because they can just speak from the heart. That Brian, he's just
a little crush on Brian.
Okay, everybody. He's just amazing. I don't know what I'm supposed
Jill,
to do.
I have a crush on you.
We are very lucky to have them as part of HRDC.
Yeah,
they're
pretty
very
amazing.
lucky. We're also lucky because during that break, we had some donations that already have come in.
Oh, I see donations.
And tonight I was hoping that we would raise $100,000. And I think that we're almost there. So you want me to tell you some donations?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Swanson and Jerry Buckley made a generous donation last year to our campaign. And because of this match and because of the work we do, they wanted to give us another one. So they pledged $25,000. There was someone who volunteered at the Fork and Spoon, and now they live in Wisconsin. She got the invite for the event and called in and donated $300.
Thank you, Wisconsin.
Go Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The employees of Shanae's walked over a donation of $2,500.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
And they've got a great deal on shoes.
They do. And the One Valley Community Fund has a youth giving project, and every year they give out money. And this year they decided to be a part of their match. So the students of Bozeman High and Lone Peak just donated $1,900.
Oh, those kids.
A dear friend of HRDC, Pam Bittner, which sent us a check for $4,000. And are you ready for a big one?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to do the math.
Community First Fund gave us a donation of $50,000.
Wow.
And I see on that screen over there that there's more donations coming in.
Yes.
Well, while we watch for more gifts to come in, let's say hi to some of the HRDC staff who are watching from the food bank right now at the watch party.
At the watch party.
Let's check them out.
Check out that watch
Let's party a little bit.
Oh, hey guys.
Come on, I've been trying my best.
Oh, we're done?
Oh, we're back. And we're back.
That was fun.
We encourage you to dance around too. We can all dance around a little bit.
We can all use a little dancing, celebration, because that's really awesome.
I mean, look at the donations coming in. We've got a $40 donation that just came in, $100 donation that just came in, a $5,000 donation that just came in, and all of these donations are going to be matched. They're all going to be matched. So if there's a time to give to HRDC, right now is the moment.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, give in the future. I'm not saying don't give in the future. I'm saying right now, you're going to get that extra coffee.
Double your dollars.
You get that extra coffee. And another donation of $40 just came in. Let's keep them coming, you guys.
Very cool. Can you imagine if there was no HRDC here available to support?
You know, I've been a part of the organization for a long time. And myself, along with all of our staff, we get to know our customers. They become our family and they become our friends. And every once in a while, I will just think about what if there wasn't an HRDC? How would our family and friends get the support that they need? How would they get by? What would their world look like? And it's hard to think about. But tonight, we are planning for a brighter future for HRDC. So we'll be able to do all the work that we're doing, but in facilities, we'll be able to do it even better. It will be a brighter future for those wonderful customers who walk through our door and connect with us every day. And to all of them that are watching, we are all so grateful to be a part of your journey. And we thank you for being a part of HRDC. I got through it.
You did. She did. She's cried when she's talked to us about it before, and I was getting emotional. Thinking about you getting emotional because it is an emotional thing. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight and taking time to participate in this momentous. It's momentous, right? Momentous. We're going to say momentous. Momentous occasion.
A really big occasion.
And if you'd like to donate to support the future of HRDC, and you should, please visit their website at thehdrdc.org, or you can call in your donation, or you can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen to make an immediate donation. Our phone lines will be open tonight till 7:30 p.m. So please call the number that is listed on the screen. I just said a lot of stuff.
Did you catch all of that?
Did you hear what I said?
If you didn't, I'm here to repeat it.
Go for it, Mom.
Yes, just to ensure you caught all of that, please visit thehdrdc.org or call the number on your screen. You can also scan the convenient QR code at the bottom of your screen. However you want to donate, we are here for it. We want to thank you so much for joining HRDC this evening. Your support is valued beyond measure, and HRDC cannot do what they do without you.
And without the people that make HRDC what it is. And some of those people are in the room, and so we want you guys to come on. Ooh, look what I got.
Champagne.
And if you have champagne at home or you have a drink at home, we'd love you to raise your glasses with us.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Come on,
we can't do it without you.
You guys see someone?
We're going to raise our glasses to the HRDC, to the future.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Dance party. I already did my dance moves.